Hello everyone, welcome to this another episode of Design Effective Reports in Power BI. Today we are going to discuss about structured analytical reports design in Power BI. What is it? Well, design an analytical report involves understanding the requirements and its audience. However, designing a compelling analytical report requires understanding the automatic and unconscious process that occur when report consumers comprehend what they see. When you have the knowledge of how to structure and apply report design principles, you can raise the level of your report design to produce relevant, intuitive, and visually pleasing experiences for your report consumers. In today's module, we are gonna first have the introduction, then we are going to see design the analytical report layout. After that, we'll discuss about the guided analytics experience, followed by we will also discuss the defined user interface requirements, and finally there would be some questions for you so that you can check your understandings of this module. Before we proceed further, these are the answers of the last episode questions. If you have any doubt or if you want to know further, please drop your comments in the comment section. Structure analytical report design in Power BI. Well, analytical reports can serve various report consumer use cases while providing a structured place for analysis. The primary goal of this report is to allow the report consumer to discover answers to a broad array of questions. Because most report consumers have limited time, analytical reports can help them by breaking down complex report in two ways. The very first would be condense data volumes into smaller, more targeted results, and second would be visualize results graphically to enable quick comprehension of data. Each data visual on a report page condenses data by using an analytic query. An analytic query has three phases that are executed in the order. As you can see on your screen, the first would be the filter, second group, and third summarize. I hope you know what is a filter, what is group, or what is summarize. Not all analytic query need to filter, group, and summarize. For example, commonly report visuals are filtered perhaps by a time period or by a geographic location. Grouping is optional. For example, a card visual, which is used to display a single value, isn't concerned with the grouping. And lastly, report visuals typically summarize. However, one notable exception is the slicer visual, which isn't concerned with the summarization. Now let's see one reporting statement over here, and we are gonna take an example of Contoso skateboard store. The company specializes in direct-to-consumer skateboard sales. To modernize their workflow and to gain a deeper understanding of their product sales, they need to create an analytical report to create awareness of their sales performance. Without this report, salespeople who need to see monthly order count for a specific year would need to make sense for numerous sales orders. Clearly, the task would be challenging to undertake. However, the task is simple and quick for a column chart visual in an analytical report. So we are gonna see what we need to do and how we can do it. I have a set of data comprising all the company sales records, of which there are thousands, and I need to answer two questions. One, what was the number of sales orders by month for the last year? Secondly, what was the total number of sales orders made last year? Now, how to do that? Clearly, I cannot efficiently answer these questions by interpreting the raw data to answer the questions. So I will need to analyze the data by filtering, grouping, and summarizing it. I can do that in an analytical report in Power BI, and it's quite easy. I commence the design of a report page by adding a slicer, where I can add my years. I set the slicer to the previous year, so it will filter all visuals on the page by that year. Next, what I'm gonna do, I add a column chart. The horizontal axis shows all the months, which are 12 months, and these labels are groups. The value displayed for each group are summarization. All the bars that you are looking over here are the summarization of the sales. Now I have the answer to my first question about the number of sales orders by month for last year. This simple report design is a good example of filter, group, and summarize. While it is common that summarization takes place within the group, it doesn't always need to be the case. For example, what I'm gonna do, I'll add a card visual to the report page. This type of visual displays a single value. That means it's a summarization without groups. So now I have an answer to my second question about the total number of sales orders made for the filtered year. So does that mean that an analytical report can only show the high level results like yearly and monthly sales? Well, the answer is no. In an analytical report, I can do further filtering, or I can filter group summarize to produce any visualization I like. If I have a requirement to show each sales order, then I can use a visual to group by sales order number 0. In this report design, I added a drill through page. I can navigate to this page by drilling from a column of the column chart. The table visual on the page is another example of filter group summarize. The filters applied to the drill through page for the slicer gear and the drill through month. In this case, the filters are not visible on the report page. The visuals group by sales order number and product and summarizes by quantity and revenue. Now we are going to discuss about design the analytical report layout. What should be the layout and how can we do that? When report consumer look at the report, an automatic and unconscious process occurs when they comprehend what they see. Therefore, you should adhere to basic report design principles to support this process to help effectively communicate meaning from the data. You should note over here, report design is a blend of science and art, and many possible report designs are available that help achieve the audience and interface requirements. What matters most is the report design effectively communicates the data to meet the requirements. An analytical report can consist of one or more pages, and pages comprises report objects. Report objects can be data visuals, which represents query results, or decorations like images, background shapes, or text. You can begin to design a report layout by determining the number, sequence, and purpose of the pages. Make sure that you avoid combining subjects or opposing objectives on the same page. Then design each page layout with specific report objects that are relevant to the requirements. Additionally, good report design layout should consider design principles of placement, balance, contrast, proximity, and repetition, which we are going to discuss just now in the subsequent slides. Over here, the very first principle comes the placement. Good placement of report object contributes to an ordered report design. Generally, you should place the most important information in the upper left corner of the page and arrange the report elements from left to right and top to bottom. However, this can be changed if you are living in a country where you are reading from right to left. So always keep in mind. Arrange report objects so that the vertical and horizontal edges align because it looks ordered and is pleasing to the eye. Position related report objects in logical groups. An ordered report layout creates a connection between visual elements and avoid clutter that can result from a seemingly random placement of report objects. At the Contoso skateboard store, a proposed report design for analyzing sales presents 3 equally sized vertical regions as you can see on your screen. The first region shows sales breakdown by product. The second region shows sales breakdown by the customer store, and the third region shows the items that have been sold. So it's quite a good design. Now we are going to talk about the balance. Another important consideration when you are laying out report objects is balance. Balance is concerned with stability and structure in design. In the context of a report layout, balance refers to the weight that is distributed across the report page by placement of objects of the same or different sizes. Balance can be symmetrical or asymmetrical. Symmetrical balance is achieved by distributing the weight evenly on the halves of the page. Asymmetrical balance is achieved through contrast. Consider using golden ratio as a guide to produce asymmetrical balance. The ratio is based on the Fibonacci sequence. where two quantities are in the golden ratio if their ratio is the same as the ratio of their sum to the larger of their two quantities. The golden ratio will align a page to have one large visual to draw initial attention, which is then supported by smaller visuals that provide context. Now we are going to discuss about proximity. In a report layout, proximity is concerned with the nearness of report objects. When a report page consists of multiple groups of related objects, you should use space to visually separate them. In the image that you can see on your screen, notice the top left section labeled by key metrics. Related visuals are placed near one another. They are also purposefully and consistently aligned, forming a clear section. Once we discuss the proximity, the next comes the contrast. Contrast can be used to combine two opposing objects. The use of contrasting colors, fonts, font properties, or lines can emphasize important objects of the report design. Use the principle to direct report consumers to where they should look or which data visual they should interact with first. Repetition. Repetition in report design creates association and consistency. Good use of repetition can help strengthen a report layout by tying related objects together. In the image that you can see right now on your screen, notice the top left section labeled key metrics. Many key metrics are presented in single value cards. The repetitious design allows report consumers to quickly understand and interpret the metrics. Now it's time to discuss producer guided analytical experience. How can you guide for a good analytical experience? So let's have a look. There are basically three elements you should consider for this part. That is, one, the high level metrics, second would be the supporting visual, and last would be detail when required. An analytical report layout can integrate a guided analytical experience. As a result, the report design is aligned to automatic and unconscious processes that occur when the report consumer look at the report. And for that, you should consider these three levels. Level 1, level 2 and level 3, which you can see on your screen. High level metrics basically presents the single values or simple visuals that can be quickly understood. Supporting visuals can be more complex visuals that provide context to the high level metrics. And lastly, the details when required is the details about those supporting visuals as well. Here is an analytical report for the Contoso skateboard store that presents sales results at the left. Notice the icon that presents the multiple pages in this report. Here on the sales page, I can see a page filled with well-spaced visuals at the top right, and I have the ability to set a slicer to determine the time period for analysis. At the top left, I can see some high-level critical sales metrics. There is a total sales and also some fine-grained sales like Contoso sales customer sales together with some context describing the number of items sold. In this section of the page, from left to right, I see the most important facts. In fact, if all looks in order, I may not need to look any further in this report. However, if I do want more detail, my eye continues down to view larger visuals that provide context to those high-level metrics. I even have the ability to toggle between different visualization types. I can interact with the visuals to temporarily add a filter to the page. Here, I filter by the product PowerPoint. Notice how all visuals apply the filter. And in fact, the cells by store visual perform a highlight, enabling me to see the proportion of PowerPoint sales compared to the remaining product for stores. Lastly, this report design supports details on demand. If I need further details about product sales, I can then click the drill through. Here on a different report page, I can see a list of each individual product sales made within the filter time period. I could analyze this data or even export it. When I'm done, I simply return to the sales page by clicking the back button located at the top left corner. This report design allows me to see high-level results supporting visuals that provide context with additional detail and when necessary granular details on demand. So this is how you can place your own report, or you can create or design your own analytical report experience. Now let's check your knowledge, what you have learned so far in this module. These are some of the questions, so please help me out to answer these questions. You can comment in the comment section, and in the next episode I'm gonna display the answers of these questions. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really like this one, and if you like it, please like the video, share with your friends, and also if you are new on this channel, don't forget to subscribe our channel. See you in the next video.